Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's Mother. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Returned Different after his training trip that I posted. And later on this channel, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected by Everyone. So stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy. And over on Anime King 2, I'm going to be giving you What If Aizuna Uchiha Was Naruto's Ancestor. And I'm also going to be giving you something new, so yeah, look out for that, and I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, guys. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So the last part we left off, Naruto came at Uso as he killed the two Jinchurikis, as he watched his 6 tails went off. As he then turned his sights on Ninja and wiped them out, most of them got injured in the critical damage that Naruto created. But after the huge explosion, the Mizukage and the Tsuchikage were there as they hand over their Kage position to their predecessors. As they took on Naruto and the other new Kages went off with the rest of the people that survived. As Naruto took on both of them, in the end Naruto used his finger and released a beam that teared through the earth and disintegrated them, as it also teared into the water because there was so much force behind it. Naruto then vanished. Years passed. Naruto was in disguise as he was visiting a local shop getting supplies, as he heard about Minato Namikaze, the man that stopped the third Great Ninja War. As Naruto wondered, could it be? As Naruto headed to Konoha and put on the disguise that he was wearing when he met Minami, but he made himself look at least 20 years older. As he headed into Konoha, he was being followed by the envoy. When he got to the office, Naruto was starting to think about things, but he then heard, "Come on in," as he entered to see Minato sitting there, as he told him that he was his father. At first, Minato was in denial, as he told him that many people have already tried and said that he was his father just because he's a Hokage now and they want fame. As Naruto realized that Minato don't remember anything, as Naruto told him about his history and showed him a family portrait of all of them, Minato didn't even know that he had a sister named Konan. After a long while of talking, Minato was convinced by Naruto, as the both of them shared a hug, as he was happy that he was reunited with his father, and Naruto was happy that he was reunited with his son. As Minato told Naruto about his life, and he also told him that he has a girlfriend now. It was then that Kushina arrived, as she was cursing at Minato, cursing at him for making her wait, as he introduced her to his father. As Kushina was surprised, as she didn't know what to say. She was about to leave when Naruto told her no, that he would like to get to know her as well. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. We start this episode with Naruto, as he didn't know how to classify what exactly he was looking at. Currently, seated on a stool, Minato and Kushina and himself was there. As Naruto watched as Kushina inhaled the ramen in seconds. As Naruto was impressed, she was on her 6th bowl in a couple of minutes without throwing up, as she was inhaling the food like there was no tomorrow. Where was she putting this stuff? Naruto wondered, as she's really thin for a person that eat this much. After seeing Kushina eat that way, he pushed his ramen away, as he looked up to see a man in his 30s with a white chef hat. Don't worry, it happened to everyone when they see how she first eat. The cook explained, you will eventually build up a resistance. Only the true iron stomachs can watch her eat for the first time. Has she always eaten like that? Naruto asked the cook. Well, no, it's a result of ramen withdrawal, as Kushina named it. Basically, she make up for not eating ramen for a while. I know that she always liked ramen, but I think she only liked it even more after she was forced to come here 10 years ago. That's the power of my ramen and my cooking, said the cook. What do you mean forced to come here? Naruto asked. I thought the exchange between Konoha and Uzo was voluntarily. As the cook looked at Minato, who just gave him a small nod. As he then turned back to Naruto, I cannot tell you the whole story, because it is not mine to tell, and I don't even know the whole story. It is also up to Kushina. All I know for certain that Kushina was forced to come here after an argument with her family that is still in Uzo. It has put a severe strain between herself and her family. She won't speak of her parents to anyone besides close friends, and even then it isn't that much. As he let out a sigh before continuing. Hopefully with the war over, she'll be able to reconnect with her parents. But I think it will take a long time before she even thinks about it. As Naruto gave him a nod of thanks, as he went to make Kushina another bowl of ramen. As Naruto was thinking, the Uzumakis were quite good when it comes to family, so for them to force one of them out, it must be for their own safety, or something really serious. But obviously, Kushina didn't think that it was, as he thought he would talk to Kushina sometime in private. He then noticed that she finished her last bowl of ramen as they were all stacked up together. That was some good ramen, Tuka. You never cease in your top quality food. Tuka chuckled from the kitchen where he was busy preparing another serving of ramen for another customer. Your praise is always welcome, Kushina, he said. There is never enough praise for the food of God, said Kushina as he raised her fist in the air. Kushina, by the amount of time that you say that, I think everyone know by now, said a voice. As Kushina then turned, as she quickly leaped at the figure, engulfing them in a hug. Mikato-chan, Kushina yelled, as she hugged her friend, with said friend hugging back. As Naruto looked at Mikato, long, dark hair and eyes, the trademark signal for a Uchiha, and seeing that the Uchihas are in Konoha, it was unlikely that she was just a Kunoichi with similar traits to the Uchihas. This put Naruto slightly on edge, a Sharingan. While not able to pick out Genjutsu as easy like a Byakugan, it could see that there was a Genjutsu affecting Naruto's eyes and ear. It would merely take a Sharingan user a bit more focus to identify him. That is Mikato Uchiha, one of Kushina's friends, said Minato, as the both of them spin around on their chair to look at the hugging duo. She was one of the first people to befriend Kushina after she arrived here. Mikato, what are you doing here? I thought you were hanging out at the Uchiha compound with Fukaku, that bastard, Kushina said, with a small snort on her face. Kushina, I wish that you wouldn't call my husband that. Despite what you feel, I do love Fukaku, said Mikato as Kushina pouted and folded her arms. But he stole your time. How am I meant to like someone like that, especially when you never have enough time for me? Mikato merely raised her eyebrow at her friend, childish behavior. I do spend time with you. You're usually busy lip-locking with Minato, so as Kushina quickly covered her friend's mouth. As she slowly removed her hand, as she turned around to see Naruto with an amused look on his face, as she then turned back to Mikato and whispered. As Mikato's eyes snapped to Naruto after Kushina finished whisper, as a devious smirk then appeared on her face. She then moved away from Kushina and towards Naruto, taking a seat beside him. Oh, Naruto-san, do I have stories to tell you about how that sexual deviant over there has been corrupting your son and turning him from a sweet, innocent boy to a horrible man. As Mikato started to fake cry, I tried to save him, but the evil that was Kushina Uzumaki was too strong. As she was crying on Naruto's shoulder. Mikato, Kushina yelled, as both of them looked at her, as Kushina was blushing a bright red. Naruto then looked at his son, as he also had a faint red that adorned his cheeks. What are you doing? Said Kushina. As Mikato chuckled, any sign of tears vanishing as she stood up from the stool. That's for pranking Fukaku last month. I had to listen to him rant about you for 20 minutes. Let that be a reminder to you. I can get you into a lot of trouble if I choose. So, Naruto-san, Have you had a tour of Konoha yet? Asked Mikato. No, and it's just Naruto, Mikato, said Naruto. Minato and his girlfriend was about to give me a tour. After we finish our lunch. Would you mind if I intrude, Naruto? She asked. You may follow us if you wish, Mikato, Naruto said. As the group started to move through Konoha, pointing out various places in Naruto, they started to get attention from the people in the village. Shinobi and civilians pointed, as they whispered, to their new approaching Hokage walking on the street, with two kunoichi and another male. Many of them had seen their leader with the Uzumaki before, and the Uchiha, but this new person, they all want to know who he is. Whispers spreading through the crowd, as some rumors are made that Naruto was someone from another village that wanted to join into an alliance after the newly defeated war. And then there was another rumor about how he was a stone ninja spy sent by the Tsuchikage to assassinate their Hokage. This was then put to rest as another rumor was created that Minato traveled to the future and speak to one of the future Hokage and brought him back here so he could tell them about any future problem with some great powerful time traveling seal. As Naruto heard all of it, as he was laughing on the inside, as he couldn't believe these rumors. Does these people really have nothing better to do than spread these ridiculous rumors? Paying attention even though these thoughts ran through his head, Naruto watched as Minato pointed over to a building near the Hokage's monument. That's the Shinobi Academy, or Academy for short. That's the Hokage Tower above it, as Minato was explaining everything to Naruto and the Hokage's monument with the faces carved into it of their previous Hokages. Everything looked impressive, Minato. Even though I wasn't here to witness it firsthand, Naruto said as he stopped. I am very proud of what you achieved. Thanks, Dad. That means a lot coming from you, Minato said. Sometime later, the group found themselves on Training Ground 3. As Naruto cleared out his ears, I'm sorry, he said as he looked at Mikato. What did you just say? Did you just say you want to fight me? Correct, Naruto, Mikato said. Kushina told me that you defeated several ninjas. I wish to see if this is true. Naruto turned his head as he looked at Kushina, as she blushed red and chuckled as she turned her gaze, as he then looked back at Mikato. He knew that Minato had told Kushina a short version of the story that he told him, but he thought that she would keep her mouth shut. Could I not demonstrate on the logs? Naruto asked as he pointed to the 3 logs. Those are not used to practice taijutsu, Dad. They're used for Academy students' final tests. Naruto sighed as he could fight Mikato, but that ran a risk of she activating her Sharingan and spotting the illusion. But not fighting her could rot the trust that Minato had for him. Minato might believe the story, but that trust that he still had was new and was fragile. And there was no reason why he couldn't fight. The choice was obvious then. As a thought came to his mind, if I fight you, you don't use your dojutsu, Naruto said. It is unfair advantage considering that I cannot use the amount of chakra that you can, and considering that you were trained in ninja art, which I wasn't so trained well in. As Naruto hoped they bought it, hoping that she would agree to it. Deal, said Mikato, as Naruto sighed in relief. I don't know why you may think that I would use the Sharingan in fighting you, Naruto. You are only a civilian, while I'm a trained Jonin. There should be no need for me to activate it. A tick mark came on Naruto's forehead, as he knew that he could crush her with both arms folded and eyes closed. But he said nothing, as he just walked away to the other side of the clearing. As Naruto then turned back around, as he noticed Mikato had changed as she was in a fighting uniform. As he looked at her, as she answered the question before he could speak it, I always come prepared for anything, she said. Changing speeds is one of those things, I presume, said Naruto. You will be surprised, it saved my life more than once. Minato, would you mind being the proctor? Asked Mikato. Alright, the both of you ready? Minato asked. As the both of them nodded, begin then, he said as he moved back. Mikato then blurred off with the speed of a high chonin. She could go faster, but why would she? As she wanted to test his skills, she was also looking out for Minato. If Naruto fought off a group of ninjas, he should be skilled in the ninja art. And she couldn't see any muscles because of the clothes, and also his chakra level was barely higher than a mid-genin. So that shouldn't be possible for him to take out every shinobi so quickly. as she tried to punch him in the stomach, as she was surprised when he grabbed her hand without ease. He then ducked down and kicked away her leg, as she was now in mid-air. She then felt a fist slam into her stomach and sent her flying back to where she was. As she looked over at him, so it was true. He really was telling the truth about his skills, and from what she had seen, he's still in that top shape. She then watched Naruto as he moved towards her with incredible speed, as the only thought came to her head, his dad and him fight with speed, as Naruto slammed his fist into her face and sent her flying into the pond. As Naruto then turned to Kushina and Minato, as the both of them mouth was open up wide. Either you thought I was lying, Naruto said, when I told you I took down Shinobis, or you thought my skills has dulled over the years. So, which is it? He asked. Minato shook his head to snap himself out of a daze. It was neither, Dad. I simply thought that Mikoto would put up more of a fight. I didn't expect her to be defeated so quickly. Hearing her friend's name, Kushina, snapped out of her daze. Mikoto-chan, she said, as she rushed over to the river. As she saw, Mikoto came up on the river bank with a gasp. As Kushina pulled her from the water, as she lay on her back. Mikoto, are you alright? Kushina asked. Yeah, I'm fine. But I guess I underestimated him, didn't I? Kushina giggled at her friend. Know that the danger had passed. You got your ass whooped by an old man. As Kushina chuckled some more, I'm going to tell everyone about this. You do know that, right? As Mikoto paled to her pride, and also her Uchiha status. She was about to say something to blackmail Kushina into silence when another voice spoke up. You know that this old man is within hearing range, and is willing to give you a first-hand demonstration of what he did to Mikoto, right, Kushina? As Kushina paled a bit, as Mikoto chuckled at her face. No, that's fine, Naruto. Did I told you how young and radiant you look today? Kushina asked with nervousness in her voice. Could anyone else, she wouldn't have cared, but this was the father of her boyfriend. What could she do? As Minato chuckled at her behavior, Kushina was always so loud and angry when it comes to things like this, but now she was nervous and calm. As he understand, her not being offensive to Naruto, seeing that she didn't want, well, she thought that he might be offended by her and demand that the both of them split up. But Minato knew that his father would never demand such a thing. He could just tell. It was then that Naruto snapped his head to the side, and so did Minato, as someone jumped out of a tree. As the person landed, as Naruto saw his grey hair and he was wearing a mask. As Naruto noticed a dark ring under his eye, it seems like he wasn't sleeping enough or something was wrong. Hey Minato-sensei, said the new person. You got a minute? Of course, Kakashi, I told you a lot of times that you can drop by anytime you want, Minato told his former student, as he had trained Kakashi everything that he knew, and he decided that it was Kakashi's time to grow on his own, but he was also worried about Kakashi's mental health. Yeah, said Kakashi. Well, anyway, I heard that you were escorting a stranger around the village, so I just wanted to come and check them out. They must be pretty important for you to be walking them around. As Minato then looked, Kakashi, this is Naruto, the man you heard about. Naruto extended a hand as both him and Kakashi shake, as the both of them nodded at each other and removed their hand. He's also my dad, said Minato. Kakashi's eye widened at the man, as he then started to look over Naruto. Are you sure, Minato-sensei? Kakashi asked. He could be like the others. Don't worry, Kakashi. Naruto has given me evidence to prove that he's my dad, and his qualities are similar to mine. Kakashi was about to say something when he heard another voice. Kakashi, where are you? Where did you go? If I can't find you, I will walk around on my hands for the entire day. Aha, said the voice as he came in the clearing. I found you, Kakashi. Even after you began a race to see who would reach Minato first. Such is the power of my youth, said the person. As Naruto looked at him, was this person drop on his head? Was this part of some illusion to hide their real personality? Or was he just strange? Kakashi sighed as Guy made his appearance again. Hello, Guy, Minato greeted. Hello, Hokage-sama, said Guy. Guy was about to say something else, but Kakashi spoke before he could. I'm sorry, Minato-sensei, but I have to go now, Kakashi said, as he started to walk away. As soon as Kakashi went off, Guy then turned serious. As Minato looked at him, Guy, if you may follow him for a while. This constant behavior of his is not doing anything for his health. As Guy nodded, of course Hokage, he said, as he ran off into Kakashi's direction. Naruto watched Minato sigh and pinch the bridge of his nose. It seems like Kakashi's actions wasn't a recent thing. While curious what was wrong with him, Naruto kept his mouth shut. It was not his place to ask. Kakashi has went through a traumatic mission in the Third Great Shinobi War, said Minato, like reading his father's thoughts. He was put in stressful decision he shouldn't have at his young age, and now because of them, he has PTS. He also has been having nightmares. He thinks that nobody knows, but we do. He's starting to drive off all of his friends to wallow in his own grief. I've been trying to help, but so far, nothing seemed to help. Why are you telling me this? Naruto asks after a few moments of silence. Because I want to see if you can get through to him, Minato said as he turned to Naruto. You have lost, just like he. And you're also the one close enough to him that might get through to him. Close enough to him, said Naruto. I just met him. How can I be close enough to him? Well, you're the dad of his sensei. That's close enough that it could make a difference, said Minato. You forgot that I only know him for less than a minute, Minato. It will take a closer bond than the one that we have now, since there's nothing there for me to be able to do anything. You don't need to have a close bond, said Minato. Simply tell him your story. Tell him how you wish you had someone to talk to. Tell him how lucky he is to have people around him as his friends. My story, that what you decide to call my life, is incredibly personal. It's not something I want to show to the world. I was a bit annoyed about Kushina telling it to her friend. What would make you think that I would be happy to tell it to someone that I just met 5 minutes ago? As Minato remembered himself, to talk to Mikato later to not spread his father's story around, and also Kushina as well. I know that I have no right to ask you to speak to anyone about your life, but please Dad, Minato said. I need you to get Kakashi to open up, otherwise I have to go through with my next action. And what is that? Naruto asked. I'm going to have to admit him in our village on Bokor, said Minato with a sad look on his face. So why don't you just send him to the Anvu? Why get me to talk to him? Naruto asked. In the Anvu, they teach people to suppress their emotions, to take down difficult missions and stressful ones. I would hope to help ease Kakashi's pain and control his grief. But I'm not entirely sure that it will be proven successful. That is why I'm asking you, will you at least talk to him once, Dad? Minato asks. Okay, said Naruto. But not now though, I will find him at a later time. As Minato gave his father a hug. Thanks Dad, he said. Time skip, Minato was back in the office doing some paperwork. As night was coming around. As Naruto was sitting there, as the both of them were sitting in silence as Minato was going through some work. He had neglected some things since he went on that little walk around the village with Naruto. Minato then looked at the sky. As he then looked at Naruto, I didn't get you a place to stay. It's fine, I'm sure there's a place that I can rent a room at. Naruto said, a pub or a hotel, either is fine. You don't need to burden yourself with any more of my well-being, Minato. No, you're my dad. I can't let you sleep in a hotel when there is family willing to take you in. You make it sound that I was living on the street, said Naruto. I have slept in worse place than a hotel bed, Minato. Trust me, one night won't kill me. There is more than enough space for you to live in my house. Please, for my peace of mind, Dad, said Minato, as Naruto sighed. Fine, he said, as Minato got up as the both of them exit the room. As they walked down the stairs. Where exactly do you live, Minato? Naruto asked, as he knew being the Hokage gave great benefits. Seeing that Tobirama was able to convince the council during the first Great Shinobi War to let him fight an unknown person that they didn't know. While the Hokage is obligated to live in the Hokage's residence, another building close to here, I am also allowed to live anywhere I want. As they exit the building, as Minato pointed there, that is where I'm meant to live. It's the Hokage's residence. But I don't think I'll ever live there. It's too big for me to use. I will feel alone in such a place. Yeah, I know what you mean, said Naruto. It seemed like a building for a family, more than one person. Yeah, a family, said Minato in a low tone. But I live in a small apartment in the Shinobi district. It isn't a giant place, but a place to rest my head. As the both of them walked through the streets of Konoha, as darkness started to take fold. As the both of them then talk, Minato telling Naruto more about his life until they arrived to a building. As Minato let Naruto into the house, as he closed the door behind him, all it took was walking up the stairs before Naruto found himself outside of his dad's home. Well, said Minato, feeling quite nervous, here it is. As Minato pumped chakra into the handle and opened the door. As Naruto looked around, there was a kitchen off and also a dining room. The place felt very homey. There was also a lounge with 2 chairs and a coffee table and a couch and a hallway that led further into the apartment. Looking around, Naruto noticed several picture frames on the wall as he went closer to look at the photographs. As Naruto noticed one of them was of Minato when he was very young, at least 10, with 2 other children. As Naruto looked at the man that was behind them, it was Jiraiya. As Naruto saw the twinkle in Minato's eyes, it seems like he was very happy at that moment. That's a picture of my Genin team. It was taken the day we completed the final Genin test. As Naruto then looked towards the next photo, as he saw Minato and the 3 kids there. One of them was a younger version of Kakashi and 2 other children that he didn't recognize. That's a Genin team that I led. You already met Kakashi Hatake. The other boy is Obito Uchiha and the girl is Ren Nohara. Naruto heard the sadness in Minato's voice when he spoke of the last 2. I'm guessing that Obito and Ren are no longer alive, Naruto said. As Minato's silence gave my answer, I see. Kakashi must think that this is his fault. Am I correct? Naruto asked. Once again, silence was his answer. Was it really his fault, or is he blaming himself for something that wasn't in his own control? Neither of them are Kakashi's fault, as much as he liked to believe it was. Kakashi himself will tell you of the circumstances when you talk to him, if you wish, said Minato. Minato, who are you talking to, said a voice. As there was footsteps, as Naruto already knew who this was. In here, said Minato. As Kushina was dressed in a blue nightgown. When she entered, she saw Naruto, as she let out a eep, as she then ran behind the wall. Minato, Kushina said, as both Naruto and Minato started to chuckle, as they then calmed down. As Minato walked over there, when he was dragged away, as Naruto simply chuckled. What do you think you're doing? I just walked out in front of your dad, wearing nothing but a robe. A little warning next time, you idiot, she said, as Minato chuckled, as Naruto heard everything. It's alright, Kushina. I highly doubt that dad. Ouch, Minato said. What was that for? Don't say that your dad won't care. Because if you do, I will beat you senseless. As she then sighed, Minato, please, I'm truly worried. What if he doesn't like me? What if he made you choose between me and him? I know how much you wanted a parent, she said. Trust me, Kushina. Dad will never do that, he said. I can tell. Naruto walked up to the entrance of the hallway as he leaned on the wall. You know, Kushina, you could have just asked me what I thought about you, he said. Naruto, as she was stuttering. As Naruto held up his hand as he was about to speak, as Minato stood there waiting to hear what he has to say. Kushina, while you could mature a little, or at the very least think a bit more before acting, as Kushina pouted when she heard that. But I think you're a strong, motivated woman, with a strong personality and a stronger spirit, as a smile came on Naruto's face. Much like Minato's mom, I see quite a bit of her in you, Kushina. But most importantly, you make my son happy or I could not, and for that I will be eternally grateful to you, he said. Whatever kind of blessing or approval you need from me, Kushina, you have it, said Naruto, as that brought a big smile to Kushina's face. As Kushina rushed over to Naruto and gave him a big hug, as she was crying a bit, as he hugged her back. Thank you, she said, as he heard how happy she was in her voice, how much that meant to her, that he accepted her and liked her. Just continue to make my son happy, Kushina. That's all you have to do, he said. As they then pulled back as he placed a hand on her shoulder. Perhaps one day you will be calling me dad. As Kushina then turned pale as Naruto didn't expect that. He thought that she was about to turn red. As she then looked at Minato. Tell him, she said. Why me? Because you're the boyfriend, idiot, she said. Could one of you just tell me what's going on? Said Naruto, as Minato rubbed the back of his head. Well, you see, Kushina is kind of my fiance. As Naruto blinked once, twice, for the fourth time his face turned into a deadpan expression. Where is the guest room? He asked. Down the hall. The door on the left is Kushina and my own. Straight down is the bathroom. And the guest room is on the right. As Naruto started to walk away, Dad, said Minato. As Minato heard Naruto muttering, he's getting married, but he's too young. Oh, I know. He got her pregnant, didn't it? That stupid idiot didn't use protection. This is what I get for not being in his life. No one gave him the talk. Well, I guess I should give him the talk. I wonder if they have a banana. This is gonna be really embarrassing to show him what to do, said Naruto as he entered the room and closed it behind him. As Kushina wanted to burst out laughing by Naruto's reaction, even though it was a bit serious. Dad, I already had the talk, said Minato. Oh, thank God, Naruto said from the other room, as Kushina finally lost it as she burst out into laughter. The next morning, Naruto got up as he was surprised how fast morning came, as he just put his head down for a nap. And he's now smelling something cooking. As he slowly got off his bed and changed his clothes, as he walked out, as he saw Kushina sitting down at a table and Minato with eggs in the pan. As Naruto walked out, "Good morning, Dad," said Minato. As Kushina was looking down on the table, remembering last night's conversation, not looking in Naruto's eyes. After returning his son's greeting, Naruto then looked at Kushina. Kushina, he said, I want to apologize for last night. No, it's okay. I know that it might seem we're going too fast, but that's not it at all, Naruto said. I didn't give a response yesterday. It was mostly out of shock. You see, 2 days ago, whenever I thought about Minato, I will always think about a small child that was always loving to climb trees. I thought that I see him much older now, but apparently not. I know that Minato isn't the same little boy he once was. But to me, he still is that same little boy. It will take time for me to see him different. Naruto then gave a smile to Kushina, as he then turned to Minato, who had stopped cooking the eggs. Make no mistake, I am very happy for the both of you, and hope that you have each other for the rest of your life. I approve of your marriage, Naruto told the couple. Much like the night before, Kushina's eyes started to water, as a smile came on Minato's face. Thank you, your blessing means a lot to us, she said. Naruto then turned back to Minato as he saw him carrying 3 plates over to the table, with eggs and bacons, and a platter of fruit, as everyone descended into silence as they eat their meal. After Naruto finished his meal, he struck up a conversation and asked them if they have a date, but they didn't, seeing that Minato is scared that if they get married right now, people would find any way to try and hurt his loved ones, seeing that he destroyed the entire platoon of ninjas in the 3rd Great Shinobi War of his own village. And Kushina had told him a long while back that she wanted a huge wedding, but she told him that she no longer wanted if it was going to put them in the spotlight. But Minato wanted to give her that. So Naruto came up with the idea, what if I do it, he said. No one really knows that I'm your father. Well, Kakashi would probably tell Guy, but other than that, no one. And Mikoto would probably tell her husband Fukaku. But she should keep it a secret until I create a formal announcement over the village, and the envoys won't say a word. What exactly are you planning, Dad? Asked Minato. Well, what if I got the wedding supplies and seal them in a scroll, and then you guys show up later? I could take the place of a monk. It wouldn't be long for me to memorize what I'm going to say. The only problem is for you guys to arrive in time and get back before anyone notices. Naruto watched as Minato and Kushina started to think over the plan. If several things are ironed out, I don't see why not, said Minato. I can direct you to a store in Konoha that sells wedding supplies. But do you have a place that we can set up the wedding at? As Minato looked at his father and saw that his father was arguing over something to himself. Yes, said Naruto. I do. Where is it? Minato asked. I wanted to know more about the place. It's a secret, Naruto said with a smile. And it's a perfect place, I promise. I will get the supplies today if I can. I will set off today, Naruto said. The quicker this happens, the less of a chance you have someone to find out about it. But I still don't know how you're going to get there and back without raising suspicions. As a amused look came on Kushina and Minato's face. What's so funny? Naruto asked. Dad, do you know why I'm so famous? Said Minato. Not exactly. I was more focused on getting to you, not finding out why your name was so well known. I know that you fought against the Stone Village and was one of the main reasons why Konoha won the war. I think I heard something about you moving fast as well. Not exactly, said Minato. As Minato reached around his back and pulled out a three-pronged kunai. As Minato placed it in the middle of the table, as Naruto picked it up and started to study the seals around the handle. It's called the Harishin, the Flying Thunder God technique. It allowed me to transport myself to a location marked by the Fuinjutsu seal on the handle. And by placing them on a projectile, you have the ability to teleport anywhere you throw this kunai. Naruto said, It's remarkable, Minato. I assume that you want me to take this kunai and somehow signal you that everything is prepared. Correct, but you don't have to signal me. Just channel a bit of chakra and throw it, and I will get a buzz in the back of my mind, and I will teleport me and Kushina there. Are you sure? The place I have in mind is quite far away. Would you be able to make the distance? Distance is not a problem. The amount of chakra for the jump is always the same, Minato said. Make sure that you signal at the beginning of the day, so I can call a day off for myself and Kushina. While our engagement is secret, our boyfriend and girlfriend relationship isn't. I will, said Naruto as he started to get up. The two of you merely need to get ready when I call, he said, as he headed towards the door. I will get the supplies now. As Naruto hugged the both of them. As Naruto headed off, as he was walking on the street. Wait, they didn't tell me where the shop was, he thought. But guys, I'm the end of this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace, guys.